Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So I was working with my boxing trainer this morning, Rob, and I had a question for Rob, which brought me a really interesting answer and inspiration for this episode, Today's Sister. And the question was this. As you're hearing, maybe you're not hearing the beep beep sounds through my phone as I record this episode. I'm leaving my chiropractor's office and negotiating out of a parking space right now. And it's very tight. I live in Victoria, BC, very environmentally conscious and aware, and lots of beauty here, and lots of people have teeny cars. We have an SUV, and so there's a lot of small parking spots. Okay, so there we go. Let me focus here. So here's the question that I asked Rob this morning. I said, look, when you train, like, are there, so I'm training to fight or spar in 2017, and I've been working with my trainer Rob for the last 3 months. I worked for about 2 months prior to when I moved to Victoria, BC, where I now live, in Alberta, where I used to live. But, the training obviously has been a lot more intense, and with this intention of I want to fight in 2017. Or spar. We'll figure out which one is going to work for me best. But if you can probably visualize, most people are aware what boxing is, right? And so there'll be certain combinations. So there's a series of punches that are thrown in combination that you train on. And so I've been working with Rob, and I'll have the training mitts up, and I'll be throwing punches, or we'll be doing them as we spar on a heavy bag. And so what I said to Rob today was this. I'm like, is there a set, like, here's kind of the combinations you learn when you're learning how to box, or do you create your own? And he goes, well, it's actually a blend of both. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, every week I will watch, and I think Rob is so, and the reason I'm talking about how to master your craft is I feel that the way that Rob trains is he is a master at what he does. And it also doesn't stop. So let me explain this. So Rob answered my question, which again was, our combinations, is it kind of like, here's the set stuff that you train people on who are learning to box? Like, here's the certain combinations, or is it you create on their own? He said to me both. So what he does is this. Rob will watch and study YouTube videos of people training and fighters, and he'll see different combinations that he likes. And there might be some new ones in there, and he'll kind of take that combination and maybe add a few more things to it. And then each week he brings one new combination into the gym to train people on. So whether it's guys who are like fighting to be professionals, whether they're just kind of amateur like me, whether it's like in a boxing class, like just kind of boxing for fun and for workout. But he'll do that. And, I was kind of blown away. I didn't really tell Rob this. I'm going to share this with him later. But I know that every single time he trains with me, like, he's written out what we're going to train on each day. Like, he's just an amazing trainer. He's an amazing fighter. He's a kickboxer, holds titles, but he's just an incredible, incredible trainer. And really thankful to have him in my life, and literally will be in my corner. And so, yeah, every single week he does this. He said, you know what? It's easy to become a trainer that's just kind of like, he didn't use this word, but I'm going to say lazy. You're just kind of teaching the same combinations and the same moves and over. And it's a lot of, like learning anything, right? It's a lot of repetition in what you do when you box and when you're training. It's like with anything, it's repetition over and over and over again. But it was really interesting for me to hear this information and to really understand Rob more and how much that he really masters his craft. And it doesn't stop. He doesn't go, well, I got these combinations and like, I'm good. No, he continually does this. He continually does this. And why is that? Well, we could say that Rob's just really excited to train and to fight and to have the opportunity to do this and to train and fight himself and to train other fighters. Like, it's part of who he is. It's part of Rob. But I think there's a bigger piece of this, which he just made the decision that he's going to master his craft. And he's going to continue to master his craft. And that mastering what he does as a trainer never stops. It just doesn't stop, right? And so how does this relate to you? Well, let's take a look at something like marriage. A lot of you talk to me about marriage, about the challenge that you're having, how you want it to be different. You want to be, more connected to your husband. You don't want to be married to your roommate. You want more love, more passion, right? Feeling like you're in this together in your marriage. And yet you're unwilling to master your craft. How does that look like when it comes to marriage? Well, this is a lot of things I teach my clients. I teach in webinars as well too. There's 3 main things that you can do, and I'll just talk about one of them. One is the simplest step in the world, which is to text your husband daily. Now, I know there's going to be like 1 out of 500 of you that go like, oh, I don't want to text technology, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So write a fucking note, or tell him to his face, or, send an email if you want. If you go, he never checks text, send a video or just a written note. But I'm telling you, it's something different when they actually receive that they can read versus you telling it to them. And here's something cool is when you text this, which by the way, you're going to text every day, master your craft, right? Master your marriage. Every day, you're going to text your husband what you love about him, honor about him, appreciate about him. Every single day, every single day, every single day. Like without fail. This is how you start to master your craft. And it's not going to happen because you do it for a while and then you stop, right? The same thing for Rob. If he wants to really become, a more elite trainer, he wants to master his craft more and more, he understands that that doesn't stop. He's going to continue doing that and probably will find some new things which make it better and better and better as he masters his craft more and more and more. So this is something really simple you can do in your marriage. Every single day, I'm going to text my husband. It takes you all 30 to 60 seconds to say, honey, I really love that you spent some time with the boys last night and having some extra time playing with them. Like, you're such a good daddy and I love you. So imagine being on the other end of that. How do you think your husband will now begin to feel about you when you, in essence of doing this very, very easy task of daily, and actually, a side note to that, it's not easy if you're not getting along, right? You have to really look for what is the thing that I'm thankful for and I appreciate and I love about my husband. And it might be times you're sitting there like, oh shit, nothing, I'm pissed, mad at you, right? This is where I talk about in a couple different podcast episodes that Brene Brown says that gratitude is a practice. It's not something you just do when you feel like it. It's something you practice, even when you don't feel like it, right? So how does mastering your craft look like in different parts of your life? Well, how about say like your body, right? Do you do the things daily that your body needs? Movement, good food. We'll use the word clean. That's a lot of stuff that's talked about these days, but good, clean food, like real food, right? Had a parent. It came from the ground. It came from a tree, like real food. Doesn't have a barcode or it's in a can. Do you put real food into your body? Do you hydrate your body and give it lots and lots and lots of water? Do you get enough sleep at night? Are you happy? Do you do the things that really light you up? Right? How do you take care of your body? How do you master the craft of building this body, which is your temple, which is going to take you throughout life? Like, I have a lot of people that say to me, so I'm 47 and a half. I turned 40 in 2017. And some people, they'll be like, holy fuck, you're 47? I'm like, yeah, dude, I invest in myself all the time. Time, energy, money. And it's a consistent basis. It's when I don't feel like it. It's even in times I'm like, oh, like I'm good kind of thing. Or, oh, I worked out for a while, so I'll just like take a break. Oh, I've eaten good food for a while, so I'm just going to eat shit for a little bit of time. Right? I mastered the craft of building my body. And really in 2017, as we're a couple days away from 2017, as I record this episode, and as it comes out, is like, I really want to build the strongest, leanest, fittest, most kick-ass, most look-good naked body that I've ever had at the age of turning 48 in 5 months. I will master this craft. And it won't be because of something that I just do once in a while. It's something that I master, meaning I consistently work on my health and my body on a daily basis. So here's your more tip for today then, sister. What is one craft? What is one area of your life that you would like to master? Is it with your body? In your health? Is it in your marriage? Is it with purpose? Is it in your business? Is it you as a parent? Like, what is it that you really want to master? And the second step is, what are the things, actually we're going to do 2 steps to this. Number 2 is, who do you need to become to be someone who's a master at that craft? Whichever area that you choose in your life. And number 3 is what is the one thing that you can do starting today? See, when you take swift action, sister, things begin to change. Delaying tomorrow, next week, January 1st, like none of that shit. That's bullshit. What is one action you can do today that will move you towards becoming the person that can master her craft? What is that? And journal this all down. Don't do this in your head. Journal it down. Anything worth looking back on, anything worth doing, anything that, really see my coach Satema said this to me, and I'm not a religious person, but this still means something to me. He's like, your journal, the work that you do in your journal is like your scripture. It's your own personal scripture. Do you take it loosely, lightly, you just run it in your head, put it on a piece of paper and jot it down later? Do you actually have like a journal that you write these things down? You can refer back to, reference. So write all these down and really see what comes up for you. And then, from there you can start to add on, what are the actions I need to do? Like more actions than the one that move you towards mastering my craft. It is possible, sister, but it requires work. You want to be a master? Put in the work that's required to actually do that. So I'm going to have you then take a look at 6 women who mastered their craft at my recent Women Wanting More live event. Like they really did. They put in the work of those 2.5 days, and they're continuing to. So if you go over to Dr. Karen Osborne, for instance, when you go, sister, I'm just going to tell you, you need to go over and watch this. This is life-changing to really see the journey of these 6 amazing women. That's over at drkarenosborne.com/live event. You're going to enter in your name and email, and you're going to immediately access the Women Wanting More live event movie. It was 2 months ago here in beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada. It's just under 7 minutes, and you're going to get to watch what these women went through to really begin to master the craft of them, of each of them. And then what happened 4 to 6 weeks later in the post-event interviews of what was continuing to happen as they were mastering their craft more and more and more. So that's over at drkarenosborne.com/live event. And if you feel like, listen, I really want to master my craft too. Like I want to be around women that are like me. I want to be poached by Karen, by me. Right? To really help you save time, compress time, save money, and get there faster, then there'll be a button for you to click on for you to apply to be at the next live event. You're going to fill out a quick form, 7 questions, and you and I will have a powerful conversation within the next 48 hours to really see if you are a fit. So I will talk to you in the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.